Love is in the air. Welcome to Ms. Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 20 romance movies of the century so far. For this list, we're looking at our favorite romance movies, both comedies and dramas, that were released in the year 2000 or later.
And don't try to figure out how the letters are coming. It's too brilliant and it'll ruin my plan. Just go along with me on this. Because the thing is, I just can't say goodbye yet.
Number 20, Definitely Maybe. We are a sucker for a love story with a fun framing device, and Definitely Maybe certainly fits the bill.
I'm gonna tell you the story, and I'm not telling you who your mom is.
Fine.
You're just gonna have to figure it out for yourself.
Good.
And I'm changing all the names and some of the facts. I just decided that right now, and then we'll see how smart you are.
I like it. It's like a love story mystery.
Will, Ryan Reynolds, is the father to precocious Maya, played by Abigail Breslin, obviously, and is going through a divorce from her mother.
Thanks for telling me the story.
You're welcome. I forgot to tell you the happy ending.
What is it?
You?
He starts to share stories with her about his romantic past, interweaving tales of all the women who've been important in his life. Maya tries to figure out which one is her mother, and the audience tries to figure out who Will truly belongs with in this heartwarming film.
Will you? Marry me.
Definitely. Maybe.
Number 19, The Proposal.
Told her you were otherwise engaged. She insisted, so sorry. So.
Oh, you want more Ryan Reynolds? Well, we can deliver. The year after Definitely Maybe, Reynolds starred in The Proposal alongside Sandra Bullock. He plays Andrew Paxton, a guy trying to make it in the publishing industry who works for an extremely demanding boss.
And I do think you order the same coffee as I do, just in case you spill, which is in fact pathetic.
More impressive.
Be impressed if you didn't spill it in the first place, and remember, you're just a prop in here.
Don't say a word.
So demanding, in fact, that when she finds out she's about to be deported, she crafts a lie about being engaged to Andrew to be able to stay in the country. What follows is a hilarious slapstick-style comedy that takes an emotional turn just when you think all hope is lost.
Turns out it's not easy to ruin someone's life once you find out how wonderful they are.
Number 18, The Holiday. There are plenty of great Christmas romance stories, but this 2006 film has to be one of our favorites. Starring Kate Winslet as Iris and Cameron Diaz as Amanda, The Holiday is about two women who switch houses when they're both at low points in their lives.
Are there any men in your town? Honestly?
We get to see Diaz settle into a cozy English cottage, and Winslet sprawl out in an LA mansion. And of course, both of them find love along the way.
Iris, if you were a melody. I used only the good notes.
Alongside the romance stories, there's also an inspiring subplot about Iris's friendship with an elderly screenwriter, played by the late great Eli Wallach.
In the movies, we have leading ladies, and we have the best friend. I can tell, are a leading lady, but for some reason, you're behaving like the best friend.
You're so right.
Number 17, Serendipity.
It's just such a nice sound for what it means, a fortunate accident. Except I don't really believe in accidents. I think fate's behind everything.
No, you do.
Another holiday love story is told in Serendipity, a movie that asks questions about whether fate can really bring two people together. Jonathan and Sarah have a chance encounter and end up spending an evening together, but decide to let chance decide if they'll ever see each other again.
Well, if that $5 bill makes its way back into my hands, I'll be able to call you. And when you hear my voice on the other end, then you'll believe in fate, won't you?
As years pass, they each become equally enamored with the idea of finding one another, but it's a task they've made difficult for themselves. This movie will have you yelling at your TV screen during their near misses and desperately crossing your fingers hoping that destiny is real.
What's wrong? Don't you like it?
It's perfect.
Number 16, A Star is Born.
Can I tell you a secret? I think you might be a songwriter.
One of the more recent entries on our list crushed audiences when they saw it, despite the fact that they probably knew what was coming given how many times this film has been remade. But Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga had a magnetic connection that made this version of the well-worn tale come alive for modern viewers, and convinced many that they must be together in real life as well.
Hey,
What?
I just want to take another look at you.
The main track from the film, Shallow, was everywhere at the end of 2018, and no one was surprised when it took home the Oscar for Best Original Song. Number 15, The F Word, also known as What If. Known as both The F Word and What If, depending on where it was released, this quirky modern romance starring Daniel Radcliffe and Zoe Kazan took a standard romantic comedy formula and updated it for 2013.
How's it going for you?
I have a dead-end job, I live in my sister's attic, and I basically never go out. Correcting pronunciation is my old thing. Actually, my new thing is oversharing.
Radcliffe may have had a difficult time breaking out from his role in the Harry Potter franchise, but this established him as a believable romantic lead.
Friends?
Yeah, why not?
All right.
Friends. Is this always how you make friends? Like it's a business deal?
Yeah, actually, it's just my style.
Okay, it's quite unnerving, but it's good.
If you're looking for a realistic portrayal of dating in the 21st century, this is a movie that doesn't sugarcoat or create a fantasy about what love most often looks like today.
You know, if you're lucky, it happens once in a lifetime. And if you're unlucky, then you have to come to weddings and hear people like me talking about it and assume that we are all hopeless romantic.
Number 14, Brooklyn. Many films that focus on romance don't receive critical acclaim, but 2015's Brooklyn was a major exception.
So would you dance for me?
I'm not sure you taught me anything.
Doesn't matter. Secret is to look as though you know what you're doing.
I wish someone had told me that years ago.
Telling the story of a young Irish girl who tries to make it in America, this movie stars Saoirse Ronan, who has proven to be one of the most prominent actresses of the century so far.
But Tony has helped me to feel that I have a life here I didn't have before I met him. My body was here, but my life was back in Ireland with you.
She's forced to choose between the love she finds in New York and a more stable life back home. It was nominated for 3 Oscars: Best Picture, Best Actress, and Best Adapted Screenplay, and a slew of other awards.
Someone who's only yours. And you'll realize that this is where your life is.
Number 13, Amélie. It's not often that an international film achieves such high popularity in North America, but Amélie, the French film starring Audrey Tautou, is a notable exception.
J'aime bien me retourner dans le noir et contempler le visage des autres spectateurs.
And how could people not love it? This story about a whimsical woman in Montmartre, Paris, trying to make the lives of those around her slightly better in small ways, is about as charming as they come.
En une seconde, tout revient à la mémoire de Brotteaux-d'eau.
Amélie herself is an unforgettable character who reminded us to take a moment to enjoy life's small pleasures.
En revanche, elle cultive un goût particulier pour les tout petits plaisirs. Plonger la main au plus profond d'un sac de grains. Briser la croûte des crèmes brûlées avec la pointe de la petite cuillère.
Don't let the subtitles scare you off. This one is totally worth it. Number 12, Call Me By Your Name.
Call me by your name and I'll call you by mine.
Ellie.
Based on the novel by Andre Aciman, Call Me By Your Name was an award-season darling that told the quiet love story between a teenage boy and the older and more mature object of his affection.
Sounds nice.
Thought you didn't like it.
Play it again, will you?
We may be used to gay love stories focusing primarily on things that set them apart, but this is a classic tale of first love and the loss that comes along with it. The lush Italian setting in the 1980s will make you want to jump through your screen and be part of it yourself. Number 11, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
That's it!
Yeah?
I've seen you, man. Book slave there for like 5 years now.
Oh.
Jesus.
I thought I would remember
5
you.
years? It might be the hair.
If you're skeptical that Jim Carrey could carry a romantic movie, you probably haven't seen Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. This is one of the most emotionally tumultuous films on our list, entering into darker places than your average romance movie does. The story exists in a world where technology can erase memories, which Joel and Clementine take advantage of after going through a heart-wrenching breakup.
Don't ever leave me.
Pretty. Roswiak. Please let me keep this memory. Just this one.
Its unique concept won it the Academy Award for Best Original Screenplay, and while it may not have been a huge box office hit, it has amassed a cult following over the years.
It was so intimate. Like we were already lovers. I'm Joel.
Hi, Joel.
Number 10, Crazy Rich Asians. One of the biggest surprises of 2018 had to be this over-the-top romantic comedy.
So your family is, like, rich?
We're comfortable.
That is exactly what a super rich person would say.
In a way, Crazy Rich Asians helped revive a genre that's been languishing for years, bringing back the unapologetically bright and colorful love story for the modern day.
I think I've just fallen in love with you all over again.
Set in Singapore, and based on a novel by Kevin Kwan, it was the first modern Hollywood movie to feature a majority Asian cast. As touching as it was hilarious, Crazy Rich Asians took the classic formula of the rom-com and made it feel new again.
That it was because of me. A poor, raised by a single mother, low-class, immigrant, nobody.
Number 9, Brokeback Mountain.
I wish I knew how to quit you.
Then why don't you?
We wish we knew how to quit them. Brokeback Mountain is a beautiful love story as well as a major tearjerker. Ennis and Jack are herding sheep in Wyoming together when their acquaintance turns into something much more that changes their lives forever.
It's nobody's business but ours.
You know I ain't queer.
Me neither.
However, because it's the 1960s, they risk violent repercussions if anyone finds out. While it may have controversially lost out on Best Picture at the Oscars in favor of Crash, it's become a modern classic, in no small part thanks to stellar performances from Heath Ledger and Jake Gyllenhaal.
Because of you, Jack, that I'm like this. Nothing. I'm nowhere.
Number 8, A Walk to Remember.
You have to promise you won't fall in love with me.
That's not a problem.
Nicholas Sparks sure knows how to write a movie that'll have you reaching for tissues throughout. Jamie and Landon are teens who couldn't be more different, considering she's the good girl minister's daughter and he's been mixed up with the bad kids at school. They find themselves spending more and more time together and falling in love despite Landon's promise that they wouldn't. Of course, what sets the story apart is the reveal that Jamie's days are limited because she's suffering from leukemia.
You know, I was getting along with everything fine. I accepted it, and then you happen. I do not need a reason to be angry with God.
Seeing Landon help Jamie work through her bucket list still brings tears to our eyes.
To honor and to cherish her all the days of my life.
Number 7, Moulin Rouge. Baz Luhrmann sure knows how to create something spectacular.
A kiss on the hand. We are continental, but diamonds are a girl's best friend.
Theo Tor co-wrote and directed this musical extravaganza, starring Nicole Kidman as a cabaret dancer and courtesan, and Ewan McGregor as a penniless writer living in a fantastical version of Paris in 1900.
Yours are the sweetest eyes.
Moulin Rouge is a dazzling production that features much-loved love songs from many different genres, as well as jaw-dropping set pieces that will make you unable to look away.
Love is like oxygen. What? Love is a many splendid thing. Love lifts us up where we belong. All you need is love.
Please don't start that again.
It became one of the few modern musicals to get a nod for Best Picture at the Oscars, also pulling in 7 other nominations. Number 6, Bridget Jones's Diary.
Apparently, she lives just round the corner from you.
Mother, I do not need a blind date, particularly not with some verbally incontinent spinster who smokes like a chimney, drinks like a fish, and dresses like her mother.
Despite all her flaws, we can't help but love Bridget Jones just as she is.
Apart from the smoking and the drinking and the vulgar mother and the verbal
No,
diarrhea.
I like you very much. Just as you are.
Whether she's making blue soup or putting her foot in her mouth for the millionth time, Renee Zellweger plays this role perfectly, in an imperfect way, of course. While Bridget may not have a ton of self-confidence, she finds herself torn between 2 men, the charming but womanizing Daniel Cleaver and the annoyingly perfect Mark Darcy. While it may be obvious to the audience who she should choose, we have to watch her make many bad decisions before she finally gets there.
For the people of England, like me and you, to lose one of our top people. Our top person, really.
Number 5, The Notebook.
You're a terrible singer.
I know.
But I like this song.
You knew we couldn't possibly leave this movie off the list. The Notebook is probably the most ubiquitous romance film of the century so far, with a seemingly equal amount of fans and detractors. The format is undeniably appealing, with an elderly man reading to his sweetheart who's suffering from Alzheimer's about how they fell in love.
This is a good story.
I'm glad you like it.
I think I've heard it before.
Yes.
While some of Noah's antics, like threatening to throw himself off a Ferris wheel, are decidedly less charming upon current rewatchings, we still have a soft spot in our hearts for this one.
It wasn't over. Still isn't over.
Number 4, 500 Days of Summer.
This is a story of boy meets girl. But you should know up front, this is not a love story.
From the very beginning, the narrator makes it clear that 500 Days of Summer is not your typical love story. And the audience knows from early on that it doesn't have a happily ever after to look forward to.
I love the Smiths.
Sorry?
I said I love the Smiths. You've good taste in music.
Like the Smiths?
Yeah.
But that doesn't make us any less invested in the romance between Tom and Summer, with the achronological narrative only adding to the appeal. It's rare to have a story like this told from a male point of view, and Joseph Gordon-Levitt is the perfect actor to pull it off. Does it overutilize the manic pixie dream girl trope? Yes. Do we still love this movie? Also yes. Number 3, Pride and Prejudice. Does it get any more romantic than Jane Austen?
Why do you ask such a question?
To make out your character, Mr. Darcy.
And what have you discovered?
Very little. I hear such different accounts of you as puzzle me exceedingly.
There have been several on-screen adaptations of her most popular work, Pride and Prejudice, but in our humble opinions, none stands up to the 2005 version starring Keira Knightley and Matthew Macfadyen. Despite the fact that it's set in the 18th century, there's something refreshingly modern about this take on Austen's much-loved tale about the romance between Elizabeth Bennet and Mr. Darcy.
And I might as well inquire why, with so evident a design of insulting me, you chose to tell me that you like me against your better judgment.
No, believe me, I
if
didn't
I
mean...
was uncivil, then that is some excuse, but I have other reasons. You know I have.
Even though everyone knows how this story ends, it never seems to get old, and is still worth a rewatch today.
I would have to tell you. You have bewitched me, body and soul, and I love you. I never wish to be parted from you from this day on.
Number 2, La La Land. There is perhaps no more appealing modern movie couple than Emma Stone and Ryan Gosling. We loved them in 2011's Crazy Stupid Love, but there's no competing with their musical turn in 2016's La La Land. This movie brought some color and brightness to an otherwise dour year when audiences needed it most.
City of stars, just one thing everybody wants.
It follows some of the tropes and formatting of an old-school Hollywood musical, showing an idealized version of Los Angeles. But it isn't all sunny dance numbers, and this movie has a surprising amount of heart behind it.
I'm always gonna love you.
I'm always gonna love you too.
I've only seen 6 of the entries on this list, which is bananas. I really need to step up my game. And number 1 is actually one of the ones I have not seen, so I guess I'll get on that. How many have you seen? Any clue what's at the top? Let's see the honorable mentions, and then we'll name our top romance movie of the century so far.
I will always, honestly, truly, completely love you.
You're dating your computer?
No, she's not just a computer. She's her own person. She doesn't just do whatever I say.
I didn't say that. But it does make me very sad that you can't handle real emotions, Theodore.
They are real emotions.
I'm Lou.
Yeah, you already said that.
Shall I make us all a cup of tea?
Because we're going to be better than ever, Nikki. Just practicing. How'd Tommy die? What about your job?
I just got fired, actually.
Oh, really? How? I mean, I'm sorry. How'd that happen?
Does it really matter?
With clients to entertain.
I always spend New Year's alone, in crowds. I'm not alone this year.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Before Sunset. There's really nothing comparable to Richard Linklater's Before trilogy, which has seen actors Ethan Hawke and Julie Delpy return to the same story approximately every 9 years. Starting in the mid-90s with Before Sunrise, fans finally got to see whether Celine and Jesse reunited in Vienna in 2004.
Did you show up in Vienna that December?
Did you?
No, I couldn't, but did you? I need to know, it's important to me.
Why, if you didn't?
Well, did you?
The second movie takes place in Paris and shows us a snapshot of what our characters' lives have become.
I never felt it was the right man. Never! But what does it mean, the right man? The love of your life? The concept is absurd. The idea that we can only be complete with another person is evil, right?
Before Sunset ends on an ambiguous note, and viewers had to wait a decade to find out what happened between Celine and Jesse when Before Midnight was released in 2013 and caught us up with the pair.
We always think we're evolving, but maybe we can't change that much.
You know how I think I've changed the most?
How?
When I was younger, I just wanted time to speed up.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from Ms. Mojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.